So I'm back, and in this video, I'm going to be doing mastering the sign of Leo. Yes, and you know what's so interesting? Because people they click on these videos like mastering the sign, and then they're like, "Hey, I kind of knew you were gonna say something like that," or like, "Why did it have to be like the typical stuff?" And I'm just like, "Well, this is the typical stuff that the signs come across, and mastering it is not that simple. It's not that easy, or it's not always what we want to hear because, hence, it's how we master the sign. And nobody really wants to do the things that it takes to master something. Like, people don't, you think it's fun and thrills to go get your master's degree? You think it's fun and thrills to go through like harsh, daunting experiences, then survive those experiences and come back to teach others or be that example? You think that's easy to do? It's not always easy to do, but still people do it. So it lets us know that we're capable of doing these things. All right. So I'm saying, like, listen to these videos with an open mind, and especially you Leos with an open heart, and just really don't take it for like, okay, well, I have to do this way. No, like, look at it from a place of observation, and just really say, if I detach myself from the information, like, what am I listening to? What am I hearing? What am I seeing? What am I taking out of it? If I was to turn around and give this advice to somebody else, what would I want for them to hear or take out of the situation? Because really, these are tools to empower ourselves. These are tools that we use to empower ourselves. Okay. Mastering the sign of Leo. Leos definitely can be some of the most creative signs, or the most creative sign that's out there. It definitely can be. And it's not in a limited way, because creativity can take form in whatever area our interest goes. Whatever area your interest is at a Leo, you can take that and you can be completely creative with what that is and what that looks like. You can be creative with your mind. You can be creative with growing plants in a garden. You can be creative with watching TV, with clothes, the way you wear the clothes, the way you like the design, like designing something. Anything, the way you train your dog, the way you wash your car. Listen, I'm saying this because it's not limited. And the point that I'm making is that as creative as Leos can be, a lot of times when you're dealing with the sign of Leo is learning to really follow their heart. And lately I have been doing a lot of personal birth chart readings for Leos. And they have been expressing to me, like, hey, but I am feeling like what I'm doing, I'm feeling like I am following my heart. Like, how do I know if I'm not following my heart? And I will tell you, it's simple. When you find yourself doing things according to what someone else is needing from you or wanting from you at any particular time, but intuitively, through signs that you're getting, but the way that you feel, it feels off, but you're doing it anyways, you're not following your heart. Because people get it mixed up. And people feel like the more harder something is, the more resistant something is, the more difficult something is, the more something pulls away. It's our job to go fix it. It's our job to make that person or those people see us in a different light. It's our job to stick in it until we can't stick into it any longer. Even though it's out of alignment with what we're truly feeling or what we're truly connected to. Even though it's going against the very aspect of who we are. Leos, that's the thing that you have to remember when it comes to mastering your sign. That you're sticking to something, you're being true to something, and you're adding on, because you're a fixed sign. You're continuously adding on to situations that's throwing you out of alignment. It's not letting you fulfill your purpose in the way that you need to. And the more you add on, it like concretes or fixes it itself together, connects, intertwines. And like by the time you look up, you're so intertwined into a situation that doesn't benefit you. You don't really know how to come out of it. And you can, but it's hard to do. So you're mastering the true meaning of what following your heart is. We all know you guys can always get attention. You guys can always get attention and you guys can always lead. But you're mastering the need to have to be at the forefront. The need to have to be in control of what that looks like. Not getting certain recognition for Leo sometimes can be very hard because it's not that you're doing it on purpose. It's because this is how Leo connects. It's the feedback that you get from it. It's how Leo connects with or feels like it's connecting with, well, I'm doing my job. I'm doing my job. This is my true self. I'm following my heart. I'm on the right path. I'm living my purpose. Okay. Because you do a great job in that area, in these areas. So your feedback would be that recognition. And the thing about it is that to get that recognition, you definitely can say, hey, be right at the forefront of your passion. But the thing that you try to do the most is you try to control. You begin to try to control the situations or the people around you. And I know you don't really think about the sign of Leo being controlling because Leo's thing is not necessarily to control other people for other people's sake. No, Leo's control comes from the sense of, I'm doing this right. I'm doing what, like, I'm pleasing you. I'm making you happy. Like, I'm going to do that better than anybody else that that's out here doing it. And I'm going to know that I am because you're going to tell me. You're going to agree with it. You're going to see it. So I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to be it. I'm going to have to demonstrate it. Right? So, Leo, you're learning, or to master yourself, is to become more of the observer sometimes in situations, okay? More of the observer, not necessarily all, like, in the forefront, you being seen. You definitely do this by knowing your purpose, finding a purpose, okay? And you still end up getting that attention and the recognition, okay? But you're now at the position to where you're allowing yourself to be kind of in the background as the observer, but you're putting things together, like you're assisting people. When you can find your purpose, but help other people find their purpose, help other people heal, help other people or motivate other people to follow their hearts, okay? And this could be very, very simple. The way that you do this. You can do this through raising a child. You can do this from teaching, whatever job you're already doing or whatever you feel like your purpose is. Because you can simply teach somebody else something. You can be there for someone else to motivate them, to encourage them in certain areas that affects them or have an effect on them or change their life forever, for the long term, because you have that type of energy. Okay, you do things, master your sign. You do things that's like weaving groups of people together or associating this group of people with that group of people. That could start off small, but it's really trickling down to have a very big effect on something else. Because God knows that, and this can happen on a small scale because God knows, like, that one child or that one person you instilled hope in, or you encouraged, or you helped heal, they can go on and do great things all because of something that you help them recognize. You are the light. So this is definitely about you being, more of and putting yourself in a position to where you're really trying to find a purpose, but that overall purpose is to help others on their path, helping heal others, pushing others to the forefront. And you're encouraging them. You're supporting them. But this is also coming from a place too, to where you're taking that time. Instead of like jumping into something, you're taking that isolated time for yourself to think about it, but meditate. This is also about something that you're inventing, being able to be into that place, like putting yourself literally in the future, looking back and seeing like, okay, well, what does the world need? What does my family need? What does humanity need? Teaching that, living that. Because a lot of where you're going to start from or where you're going to come from is you actually living out that and what you want to see occur for other people and being that example, like just living it out. But it's hard for some of you guys to get there because you're putting yourself aside sometimes, but are you putting yourself aside for the right reasons? Because like if you don't have your purpose, okay, that you're trying to live for in your life, and you're leaving that up to someone else, you're automatically putting yourself in a position to where you're wasting your energy and your creativity and your insight, because either way it's like you're helping people, but no. We're talking about you like really getting in your creativity, you not limiting yourself, we're talking about that. And we're talking about you doing these things because you're building confidence, right? You're building that confidence. You're having that courage to really follow your heart. It takes a lot of courage to go against the grain sometimes, to follow your heart sometimes in a world to where other people are, to get that popularity, to get that recognition. It looks like, hey, you got to do things, you got to say things that put you in that place, Sometimes you got to really accept that part about yourself, that original, quirky, weird, offbeat part about yourself. And the truth is, it may not look like the norm. So you're definitely getting in the mind space, but it's more like it's more like a place like the higher self of yourself. It's more about your purpose. It's more about just allowing people to live their life. And you don't really, it's not that you don't have an effect on them or you don't lead them or nothing of that sort. It's just more about saying, you know what? I'm giving these other people, let them do what they do. I'm giving them, let them have the right. They have the right to do so. Because what will happen is you'll start letting go. You'll start focusing your attention on the things that really make you feel complete and happy about having fun. Because you can have fun all the way. On both, you can have fun anyways. You know how to have fun, but no, like really letting go and really just living a life of fun, that lighthearted energy that you really enjoy life. You really feel fulfilled. You're happy. And I'm not saying that you can be happy all the time, but a great amount of it, you are happy because, and you'll be good at manifesting too, because you're putting yourself in a place to where you're just kind of like falling back a little bit. And you're doing the things that you love to do. That it's not predicated on what anybody else is doing and what they're doing and what they're not doing. You don't have to compare or come off compare yourself to anything anybody else is doing or come off you have to, because see what happens is for some of you guys, you end up putting so much attention into what somebody else is doing. Either whether it's competing or whether you just really are standing strong on your morals, that you cannot really focus on what you are doing, who you are, what you're supposed to become. And that takes away from like being in the true essence, like being a Leo that's brave, that's courageous, that's confident, and that's creative. I mean, in an inventive way, to no return, and you have a purpose in life. And you're healing and you're helping and you're assisting other people, but you're enjoying your life at the same time. This has been Mastering the Sign of Leo. I'm Butterfly to Light. Definitely like and subscribe because I'll be back.